The massive space station called Nexus Prime floated in the dark between the stars. Inside its great halls, 12 different alien species had gathered for the most important meeting in 1,000 years. The air felt thick with tension as representatives from across the galaxy took their seats around the circular chamber. Ambassador Zethkar stepped forward first. His tall, gray body moved with the confidence of someone who had never lost a war. The Vorthan Empire had conquered 40 worlds in the past century, and Zethkar wore that success like armor. His black eyes swept across the room as he activated the holographic display. "Fellow council members," Zethkar began, his voice carrying. "Through the translation devices, we face a crisis unlike any before. The humans have spread beyond their home world. They now occupy 3 star systems that were promised to our allies." The hologram showed a 3-dimensional map of space. Blue dots marked human colonies while red zones showed alien territories. The blue dots were growing closer to the red zones with each passing month. High Commander Vexthul of the Sauridian Republic stood next. His reptilian features twisted into what might have been a smile on a human face but looked more like a threat display on his scaled head. "The humans build weapons at an alarming rate," he said. "Our scouts report military installations on every world they touch. They are preparing for war." More holograms appeared showing human ships and bases. The images looked impressive, but most of the alien representatives had seen much larger fleets in their time. The human technology appeared crude compared to their own advanced systems. One by one, the other species voiced their agreement. The insect-like Nexari buzzed their approval. The crystalline Quarians sang their harmony of war. The gas-dwelling Typhonians rippled with excitement at the thought of conquest. Each species had their own reasons for wanting the humans stopped, but they all agreed on one thing. Humanity was a problem that needed solving. Only one voice had remained silent throughout the presentations. Representative Kyle Andra of the Etherian Collective had watched the proceedings with growing alarm. Her people were known for their wisdom and their ability to see patterns that others missed. As the other representatives began discussing battle plans, she finally stood. "This is madness," Kyle Andra said quietly. Her translucent blue form seemed to glow brighter as she spoke. "You are all making a terrible mistake." The chamber fell silent. It was rare for anyone to oppose a decision that had such unanimous support. Zethkar's expression darkened as he looked at the Etherian representative. "You would have us ignore this threat?" Zethkar asked. "The humans expand like a plague across the galaxy. They consume resources and build weapons. How is stopping them madness?" Kylandra moved to the center of the chamber. Her people had studied humanity longer than most. They had watched human history unfold through their telescopes and sensors. What they had seen both fascinated and terrified them. "Because you do not understand what humans truly are," she replied. "You see their small numbers and basic technology and think they are weak. You are wrong. Humans are the most dangerous species this galaxy has ever produced." Vexthul laughed, a harsh sound that echoed through the chamber. "Dangerous? They barely have faster-than-light travel. Their weapons are primitive. Their ships are small and weak. What could they possibly do against our combined fleets?" "They fight," Kylandra said simply. "Not like us. Not like any species we know. When humans are cornered, they do not surrender. They do not flee. They adapt and they fight with everything they have. They turn desperation into strength." She activated her own holographic display, showing scenes from human history. Wars that had lasted decades. Cities that had held out against impossible odds. Soldiers who had fought on when any rational being would have given up. "Look at their history," Kylandra continued. "They have spent thousands of years fighting each other. Every human alive today comes from ancestors who survived war, famine, disease, and disaster. They are bred for survival in ways we are not." The other representatives looked uncomfortable as they watched the images. Human warfare was indeed different from their own. Where most species fought for territory or resources, humans seemed to fight for ideas and principles that meant more to them than life itself. "You want to invade their homeworld," Kylandra said. "The place where they were born and raised. The place they call Earth." You will not face soldiers defending a colony. You will face an entire species fighting for everything they have ever loved. The chamber remained quiet for a long moment. Then Zethkar spoke again, his voice harder than before. Your people have grown soft, Calandra. You see threats where none exist. The humans are few and we are many. Our technology is superior. Our fleets are larger. This will be over quickly. One by one, the other representatives voiced their agreement with Zethkar. The Ceridians wanted to test their new weapons. The Nexari sought new territories for their hives. The Quarian desired the mineral wealth of human worlds. Each species had something to gain from human defeat. When the vote was called, 11 hands rose in favor of war. Only Kailandra refused to lift her hand. So be it, Zethkar declared. The combined fleets will move on Earth within the month. This threat to galactic peace will be ended. As the meeting dissolved and representatives began planning their attack, Kailandra stood alone in the great chamber. She had tried to warn them, but pride and greed had closed their minds to wisdom. Soon they would learn what she already knew, that invading Earth would awaken something in humanity that the galaxy was not prepared to face. Far away, in a small solar system on the edge of known space, the people of Earth went about their daily lives, unaware that 12 alien species had just declared war on their world. But they would not remain unaware for long. Colonel Jake Morrison watched the stars through the bridge windows of the UES Liberty as his ship patrolled near Jupiter's largest moon. It was a routine mission, checking mining operations and watching for asteroid threats. Nothing exciting ever happened out here in the cold darkness between worlds. That changed in an instant. "Colonel, I'm getting massive energy readings at the edge of the system," called Lieutenant Amy Rodriguez from her position at the communications station. Her voice carried a note of worry that made Jake turn around quickly. "What kind of readings?" Jake asked, moving to look over her shoulder at the display screen. Amy's fingers flew over her controls as she tried to make sense of what her instruments were telling her. "Sir, these numbers don't make sense. I'm showing thousands of objects just appearing out of nowhere. They're big, Colonel, really big." Jake felt his stomach drop. Earth had been expecting first contact with alien life for decades, but everyone had hoped it would be peaceful. The massive energy signatures appearing at the edge of their solar system did not look like a friendly visit. "Get me a visual," Jake ordered, "and send an immediate alert to Earth Command. Priority 1. The main screen flickered and then showed the most terrifying sight any human had ever witnessed. Ships filled the darkness of space like a swarm of insects. They came in dozens of different shapes and sizes, some sleek and curved, others angular and brutal. The smallest were larger than Earth's biggest battleships. The largest were the size of cities. "Dear God," whispered Amy. "How many are there?" "Computer is counting over 3,000 vessels," reported Sergeant Mike Chen from the tactical station. His voice was steady, but Jake could see his hands shaking slightly. "And they're all moving toward Earth." Back on Earth, President Robert Hayes was pulled from a budget meeting when the emergency alert reached the White House. Within minutes, he was in the Situation Room with his top advisors. General Patricia Collins, the head of Earth's military forces, was already reviewing the data from the Liberty. "How long do we have?" President Hayes asked. "At their current speed, 6 hours until they reach our outer defense grid," General Collins replied. "Maybe less if they accelerate." Defense Secretary Daniel Wright was studying the alien fleet composition on another screen. "We're looking at multiple species working together. Our computers are identifying at least 8 different ship designs. This isn't just one alien race, it's an alliance." President Hayes rubbed his temples. Earth's military had grown stronger in recent years, but they had built their defenses expecting to fight other humans, not an advanced alien coalition. "What are our chances?" "Unknown, sir," General Collins said honestly. "We've never faced technology like this, but we have advantages they might not expect. Our people are trained for irregular warfare, and we've spent centuries learning how to fight against superior odds." Across the city, Dr. Lisa Carter was working frantically in her laboratory. As Earth's leading expert on the possibility of alien life, she had been called in to analyze the signals coming from the approaching fleet. Her team of scientists was trying to understand alien technology from the energy patterns their ships produced. They're using some kind of gravitational drive system, Dr. Carter explained to her assistant, Dr. Bob Wilson. It's incredibly advanced, but I'm detecting weaknesses in their power distribution. They're not as efficient as they could be. What does that mean for us? Dr. Wilson asked. It means they're overconfident, Dr. Carter replied. They're not running their systems at full capacity because they don't think they need to. They expect this to be easy. Meanwhile, the alien fleet was receiving its own intelligence reports. Admiral Korath of the Sauridian Navy stood on the bridge of his flagship, reviewing the scans of Earth's defenses. His reptilian features showed satisfaction as he studied the human military installations. Primitive orbital platforms, he told his staff officers. Simple missile systems. Their largest ships are barely worthy of being called warships. This will be over quickly. Captain Vexmore, his second-in-command, nodded agreement. Should we offer them another chance to surrender? Admiral. Korath considered this. The Galactic Council had authorized the destruction of human civilization, but a bloodless victory would be more efficient. He activated the fleet's communication system and sent a message toward Earth. The message was simple and direct. Humans of Earth, you have 6 hours to surrender unconditionally. Disarm your weapons, abandon your colonies, and prepare for relocation. If you refuse, your world will be destroyed. You cannot win against us. Choose wisely. President Hayes listened to the translated message in the Situation Room. The alien voice was cold and mechanical, showing no emotion or doubt. These beings truly believed humans would simply give up without a fight. What's our response, sir? Asked General Collins. President Hayes looked around the room at his advisors. These were good people who had dedicated their lives to protecting Earth and its colonies. They deserved better than surrender to aliens who demanded their world. Send a message back, President Hayes said firmly. Tell them that Earth does not surrender. If they want our world, they'll have to take it. As the message was sent, Earth's military forces began their final preparations. Captain Sam Hudson took command of Guardian Station, the largest orbital defense platform. Commander Maria Santos activated the weapon systems on Luna Base, Earth's moon-based military installation. Throughout the solar system, human ships moved into defensive positions. They were outnumbered by more than 10 to 1, but they had something the aliens did not expect: the determination of a species that had never learned how to quit. The alien fleet received Earth's response with surprise. Most species surrendered when faced with such overwhelming force. The humans were either incredibly brave or incredibly stupid. Admiral Korath decided it was probably both. Begin the attack, he ordered. Target their orbital defenses first. Once their platforms are destroyed, the planet will be helpless. The first shots of the war were fired by alien scout ships testing Earth's defensive capabilities. Captain Tony Blake led a squadron of human fighters to intercept them. His pilots were outnumbered 3 to 1, but they had trained for this moment their entire careers. Remember, Tony told his squadron over the radio, they think we're weak. Let's show them how wrong they are. The battle for Earth had begun. 3 days into the invasion, Admiral Korath stared at his battle reports with growing confusion. The humans should have been defeated by now. His fleet had destroyed several orbital platforms and damaged many human ships, but Earth's forces kept fighting with a stubbornness that defied all logic. Sir, we've lost another cruiser, reported Captain Vexmore. The humans are using tactics we've never seen before. They're ramming our ships with their damaged vessels. They fight until their ships are completely destroyed. Admiral Korath's scaled face showed his frustration. How many ships have we lost? 47 vessels, sir. The humans have lost more, but they keep replacing them somehow, and their weapons are getting more effective. On Earth, General Rick Stewart stood in the underground command center known as Deep Rock Base. Around him, the greatest minds in human engineering were working on something that would change the war forever. They had been studying wreckage from destroyed alien ships, learning how their technology worked. Show me what you've got, Dr. Park, General Stewart said to the lead scientist. Dr. Kevin Park was exhausted. He had been working for 72 hours straight, but his eyes still burned with excitement. General, we've figured out how their power systems work. More importantly, we figured out how to make them better. Dr. Park led General Stewart to a laboratory where human engineers were rebuilding alien technology. Their energy cores are incredibly powerful, but they're not designed for rapid changes. They built them for steady, predictable use. We've modified them to handle sudden power spikes. What does that mean in practical terms? General Stewart asked. It means we can make their weapons hit harder and their engines run faster than they ever imagined, Dr. Park explained. We're installing the first hybrid systems on the Defiance right now. Captain Linda Foster had volunteered to test the new hybrid technology. Her ship, the Defiance, was Earth's most advanced vessel, and now it was about to become something entirely new. Her crew watched nervously as the final modifications were completed. How do you feel about being the guinea pig? Asked her navigator, Pete Johnson. Better than sitting here waiting to die, Linda replied. Besides, someone has to show these aliens that humans don't give up. The Defiance launched from its hidden base behind one of Jupiter's moons. Within minutes, Linda could feel the difference. The ship moved like nothing she had ever flown before. It was faster, more responsive, and the weapon systems had power, levels that made her smile. Carol, are you seeing these numbers? Linda asked her weapons officer, Carol Martinez. Captain, we're showing energy output 3 times higher than our old systems, Carol replied. And the targeting computer is learning from every shot we fire. It's getting smarter. The Defiance found its first target quickly, a Ceridian destroyer. That was attacking a human supply convoy. The alien ship was larger and supposedly more advanced, but Linda had advantages the aliens didn't know about. Firing sequence Alpha, Linda ordered. The hybrid weapons fired with devastating effect. The alien ship's shields collapsed under energy levels they weren't designed to handle. Before the Ceridian crew could react, the Defiance had destroyed their engines and weapon systems. Target disabled, Captain, Carol reported. They're sending distress calls. Let them, Linda said. I want their friends to know we're coming. Meanwhile, on Earth's surface, Major Chris Anderson was leading a different kind of revolution. His unit had captured several alien energy weapons during ground fighting, and they had discovered something remarkable. Alien weapons were designed for alien biology. Humans could modify them to work better for human hands and human tactics. The aliens design their weapons for soldiers who think like them, Major Anderson explained to his team. They expect orderly battles with clear formations. We don't fight like that. Sergeant Beth Williams held up a modified alien rifle. This thing used to overheat after 20 shots. Now it can fire continuously for 5 minutes. The aliens never thought to add better cooling systems because their soldiers are trained to fire slowly and carefully. Corporal Nick Taylor was testing another modification. Major, we figured out how to make their grenades more sensitive. Instead of a 5-second delay, we can set them for instant detonation, or up to 30 seconds. Their own weapons are becoming unpredictable to them. The improvements were spreading throughout Earth's military. Human engineers had a talent for taking alien technology and making it work better than the original designers had intended. This was something the Galactic Council had never encountered before. In space, the alien coalition was beginning to fracture. The insectoid Nexari had expected quick victory to expand their territory. After losing 60% of their fleet, their Queen Commander issued new orders. The humans are too costly to fight, buzzed Queen Commander Zixthel. We withdraw our forces to defend our own territory. Admiral Korath watched with alarm as Nexari ships began leaving the battle zone. Other species were questioning the wisdom of continuing the attack. The crystalline Quarian had lost many ships to human ramming attacks, something their rigid tactical programming couldn't adapt to. The humans fight like madmen, sang Crystal Admiral Thelnara. They sacrifice their ships to destroy ours. This is not logical warfare. But the most concerning reports came from Admiral Korath's own scouts. Human ships were appearing with technology that seemed impossible. They moved faster than Sauridian vessels and hit harder than Vorthon warships. Somehow, in just 3 days, human military capability had advanced by decades. Dr. Lisa Carter was working around the clock to understand why human modifications worked so well. Her research had revealed something that excited and terrified her. The aliens have been using the same technology for centuries, she explained to President Hayes over a secure communication link. They've perfected it, but they've also become limited by it. Humans approach their technology with fresh eyes. We see possibilities they never considered. President Hayes was reviewing battle reports that seemed too good to be true. Are you saying we're better engineers than they are? Not better, Dr. Carter replied. Different. They design for perfection and predictability. We design for chaos and adaptability. In a war, our approach has advantages they never expected. The tide of battle was turning, but Admiral Korath wasn't ready to admit defeat. He sent a message to the Galactic Council requesting reinforcements and new strategies. The human species was proving far more dangerous than anyone had imagined. Representative Kyle Andra received the reports with sadness but no surprise. She had tried to warn the Council, but they had refused to listen. Now they were learning the hard way what it meant to fight a species that turned desperation into innovation and never accepted defeat as final. Representative Kylandra made her decision in the darkness of her private chambers aboard Nexus Prime. The Galactic Council had refused to listen to her warnings, and now thousands of beings on both sides were dying because of their arrogance. She could no longer stand by and watch. Using quantum communication technology that the Council didn't know she possessed, Kyle Andra sent a coded message to Earth. She had studied human languages for years, fascinated by their complexity and emotion. Now that knowledge would help save lives. Dr. Susan Clark was working late in her laboratory when the impossible happened. Her quantum receiver, designed to detect natural phenomena in deep space, suddenly began receiving an organized signal. The message was in perfect English, but it came from somewhere near the alien fleet. Dr. Miller, you need to see this immediately, Dr. Clark called to her colleague in the next room. Dr. Frank Miller had been helping coordinate Earth's defense efforts, using his knowledge of physics to improve human weapons. When he saw the message Dr. Clark had received, he couldn't believe what he was reading. This is intelligence about alien fleet movements, Dr. Miller said quietly. Someone on their side is helping us. The message contained detailed information about alien ship positions, weapon capabilities, and tactical plans. More importantly, it included technical specifications that could help human engineers build even better hybrid technology. We need to get this to Admiral Brooks immediately, Dr. Clark said. Admiral Helen Brooks had been promoted to commander of Earth's Space Forces after the previous admiral died in the first week of fighting. She was younger than most people expected for such a position, but she had proven herself in battle after battle against alien forces. When the intelligence from Kyle Andra reached her flagship, the Warrior, Admiral Brooks called an emergency meeting with her senior officers. The information was too valuable and too detailed to ignore, but it could also be a trap. What do you think, Captain Adams? Admiral Brooks asked her intelligence officer. Captain Roy Adams had been studying alien behavior patterns since the war began. Ma'am, this intelligence explains things we've observed but couldn't understand. The alien fleet movements match these predictions perfectly. I believe it's genuine. Admiral Brooks made her decision. Then we use it. All of it. This is our chance to turn this war around completely. The intelligence allowed Earth's forces to plan their largest counterattack of the war. Human ships, now equipped with improved hybrid technology, moved into positions the aliens would never expect. The element of surprise was about to become humanity's greatest weapon. Captain Roy Adams led the first phase of the operation. His mission was to capture an alien command ship intact, something that had never been attempted before. His boarding team included some of Earth's most skilled soldiers. Remember, we need their computers working, Captain Adams told his team as their ship approached the alien vessel. Gary, your job is to disable their weapons without destroying their data systems. Sergeant Gary Cooper was Earth's best demolitions expert. He had learned to use alien explosives better than the aliens themselves. No problem, sir. I'll put them to sleep nice and gentle. The boarding operation succeeded beyond all expectations. The aliens had never faced human boarding tactics before. They were unprepared for soldiers who could think and adapt faster than their defensive systems could respond. Medic Kate Robinson worked to keep captured alien crew members alive for questioning while Captain Adams accessed their computer systems. What they found changed everything. "Admiral, you're not going to believe this," Captain Adams reported back to the warrior. "These aliens have been fighting the same way for thousands of years. Their computers are programmed with battle tactics from ancient wars. They literally cannot think of new strategies." The captured data revealed that most alien species had become dependent on automated battle systems. Their ships fought according to programs written centuries ago. They had forgotten how to improvise and adapt during combat. Admiral Brooks used this information to plan attacks that the alien computers couldn't predict or counter. Human forces began winning battles they should have lost, using tactics that didn't exist in alien programming. The Defiance, now leading a squadron of hybrid ships, struck at the heart of the alien fleet. Captain Linda Foster had become famous throughout the human fleet for her victories against impossible odds. "Pete, set course for their command cluster," Linda ordered her navigator. "Carol, charge all weapons. We're going to show them what real space combat looks like." The hybrid human ships moved through the alien fleet like sharks through a school of fish. Their unpredictable movements and rapidly changing tactics confused alien targeting systems. Human pilots were trained to think for themselves, while alien pilots relied on computer assistance. Admiral Korath watched in horror as his carefully organized fleet fell apart under human attacks. Ships that should have been invincible were being destroyed by vessels half their size. His own tactical computers were giving him advice that no longer worked against human opponents. "How are they doing this?" Admiral Korath demanded of his staff. "Sir, the humans are not following any known tactical patterns," Captain Vexmore replied. "Our computers cannot predict their next moves because they appear to be making decisions randomly." But the human decisions weren't random. They were creative, adaptive, and based on understanding their enemy better than the enemy understood them. Captain Adams and his intelligence team had cracked the alien tactical codes and found their weaknesses. Back on Earth, President Hayes received reports that seemed like something from a dream. Human forces were not just surviving the alien invasion, they were winning. The tide of battle had turned completely. "General Collins, are these numbers accurate?" President Hayes asked. "Yes, sir. We've destroyed over half the alien fleet. The remaining ships are retreating toward the outer system. Some alien species have already left the battle entirely." Dr. Lisa Carter was analyzing the captured alien technology when she made a discovery that explained everything. "Mr. President, I think I understand why we're winning. The aliens are too perfect. They've eliminated chaos and unpredictability from their societies. But war is chaos. Humans are built for chaos." Representative Kylandra monitored the battle reports with mixed emotions. She was glad that her warnings had been proven correct, but sad that so many had died because the council wouldn't listen. Her secret assistance to the humans had made the difference, but it would also mean her exile if discovered. The war was ending faster than anyone had expected. The great alien coalition that had come to destroy humanity was retreating in defeat, beaten by a species they had considered primitive and weak. 6 months after the first alien ships appeared at the edge of Earth's solar system, the last enemy vessels fled beyond Neptune's orbit. What had begun as a planned conquest of humanity had become the greatest military disaster in galactic history. Admiral Korath's mighty fleet was reduced to less than 800 ships, most of them damaged and demoralized. Admiral Korath sat alone in his command chamber, preparing his final report to the Galactic Council. The words were difficult to write because they described something that should have been impossible. A primitive species with basic technology had defeated the combined forces of 12 advanced civilizations. "The human species represents a threat unlike any we have previously encountered," Admiral Korath wrote. "They do not fight according to logical principles. They adapt their tactics faster than our computers can analyze them. They turn their weaknesses into strengths and use our own technology against us more effectively than we use it ourselves." The Admiral paused, looking out at the stars where human ships now patrolled in growing numbers. Most concerning of all, they do not know when they are beaten. Even when facing certain death, humans continue to fight and find ways to victory. The Council must understand that we have not simply lost a battle. We have awakened something that will change the balance of power in this galaxy forever. On Nexus Prime, the Galactic Council received Admiral Korath's report in stunned silence. Representative Kylandra stood before the Assembly once more, but this time her warnings carried the weight of proven truth. "You would not listen when I told you this invasion was madness," Kylandra said to the other council members. "Now you have seen what happens when you underestimate humanity. They have taken your weapons and made them better. They have learned your tactics and developed counters. In 6 months they have advanced from a barely space-capable species to a force that can defeat any of us in battle." Ambassador Zethkar of the Vorthan Empire looked older than he had before the war began. His confidence was gone, replaced by something humans would recognize as fear. "What do you propose we do?" "The humans are expanding beyond their system. They are building ships faster than we can count them." "You will do nothing," Kylandra replied firmly. "You will leave them alone, and hope they are more merciful than you were. Because if you threaten them again, they will not simply defend themselves. They will come for you." The Council voted to declare humanity a restricted species. No member of the galactic community would be allowed to attack or threaten human space without facing the combined opposition of all other species. It was not a gesture of respect but of fear. On Earth, President Hayes met with his expanded government in the rebuilt White House. The war had changed everything about how humanity saw itself and its place in the universe. Earth was no longer an isolated world hoping for peaceful contact with alien civilizations. They were now a galactic power. "Secretary Anderson, what's the status of our expansion program?" President Hayes asked his new Secretary of Extraterrestrial Affairs. Dr. Paul Anderson had been chosen for his role because of his work analyzing alien technology during the war. "Sir, we have established colonies in 7 new star systems. Our hybrid technology has made interstellar travel faster and cheaper than we ever imagined possible. At current expansion rates, we'll have 50 systems under human control within 5 years." Admiral Brooks, now commander of Earth's growing space fleet, provided the military perspective. "Our new ships are superior to anything the aliens have. We've learned from every species that attacked us and incorporated their best technologies into our own designs. No single alien race could challenge us now." Dr. Lisa Carter had been promoted to head of the new Xenotechnology Research Division. Her job was to continue studying alien technology and finding ways to improve it. "The most important discovery we've made is that innovation requires diversity of thought. The aliens became too specialized, too focused on perfection. Humans succeed because we approach problems from many different angles." Commander Jim Parker headed the Deep Space Reconnaissance Division, humanity's eyes and ears beyond the solar system. "Sir, we're detecting increased military activity in several alien territories. Some species are building up their defenses, apparently preparing for the possibility that we might attack them." President Hayes considered this information carefully. "Are we planning to attack anyone?" "No, sir," Admiral Brooks replied. "But they don't know that. From their perspective, we appeared out of nowhere, defeated their combined fleets, and are now expanding rapidly through space. They're scared of us," Dr. Carter added. "We need to be careful about how we proceed. The aliens expected us to be like them, predictable and limited. Now they don't know what to expect from us at all. That makes us both powerful and dangerous, in their eyes." The meeting was interrupted by an urgent message from Commander Parker's reconnaissance teams. A single alien ship had been detected approaching Earth under a flag of truce. It was an Etherian vessel, requesting permission to make contact. Representative Kylandra's ship entered Earth's solar system slowly, broadcasting peaceful intentions on all frequencies. She had been banished from the Galactic Council for her secret assistance to humanity during the war, but she had no regrets about her actions. President Hayes authorized her to land at the new diplomatic facility that had been built to handle alien contact. When they met face to face, Kylandra's translucent blue form seemed dimmer than before, aged by the stress of recent events. "I come to warn you once more," Kylandra told the assembled human leaders. You have won a great victory, but it has consequences you may not understand. The galaxy will never again see humans as a minor species. Some will fear you, others will seek to ally with you, and a few will plot revenge. President Hayes listened carefully to her words. What do you advise us to do? Be strong, but also be wise, Kylandra replied. You have proven that humans can fight and win against any odds. Now you must prove that you can also choose when not to fight. The galaxy is watching to see what kind of power humanity will become. As Kylandra's ship departed Earth, heading for exile in the distant reaches of space, she carried with her the knowledge that the galaxy had indeed changed forever. Humanity had taken its place among the stars not as supplicants or victims, but as a force that would shape the future of every world they touched. The age of human expansion had begun.